Africa, the world's second largest continent, home to over 1.3 billion people and a land of unparalleled natural beauty. It all started here, where the ground beneath their feet suddenly began to shake. The locals looked around, confused and frightened, as a deep rumble echoed through the air. But it wasn't just the sound that caught their attention. As they looked around, they noticed something strange happening to the land. It was splitting apart. Cracks formed in the ground and widened with each passing moment. The attention of the world's geologists was brought to Kenya as they sought to concretize the findings of the locals. What they discovered was beyond their wildest nightmares. The African continent was splitting in two, and a new ocean was forming. The East African Rift, a massive geological fault line stretching over 3,000 kilometers, was causing the land to slowly tear apart. As the dust settled, a new ocean was born. The East African Rift had created a massive rift valley, and water from the Indian Ocean had flooded in to create a vast expanse of water. This is the story of the continent that split in two and the formation of a new ocean, a tale of terror, destruction, and the birth of something new. A reminder that even the most beautiful places on earth can hold secrets and dangers beneath the surface. The African Rift, a geological wonder. The African continent is no stranger to geological wonders. The Great Rift Valley, a massive geological fault line stretching over 3,000 kilometers, has long been a subject of fascination for scientists and geologists. However, recent events have brought its destructive potential to the forefront. The East African Rift, as it is called, has caused the land to slowly tear apart, creating a rift valley that holds the potential to eventually separate the continent into two distinct land masses. The East African Rift is an active continental rift zone, which means that it is a region where the Earth's crust and lithosphere are being pulled apart. This process is known as rifting, and it occurs when the tectonic plates beneath the Earth's surface move away from each other. In the case of the East African Rift, the Nubian Plate and the Somali Plate are slowly moving apart, causing the land between them to sink and form a rift valley. As the rift valley continues to widen and deepen, water from the Indian Ocean has begun to flood into the newly created space. This process has given rise to the formation of a new ocean, which will eventually separate the African continent into two distinct land masses, the larger African mainland and a new, smaller continent that includes part of present-day Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, and Mozambique. This new ocean is still in its infancy, and it is estimated that it may take millions of years for the process to complete. However, the impact of this geological event is already being felt by the inhabitants of the region. As the Rift Valley widens, it has caused earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and other geological hazards that have disrupted the lives of millions of people. The impact on Africa's biodiversity and ecosystems. The splitting of the African continent and the creation of a new ocean is a geological phenomenon that has significant consequences for the region's biodiversity and ecosystems. The Great Rift Valley, which is the result of tectonic activity that has been ongoing for millions of years, is home to numerous endemic species that are adapted to the unique environmental conditions created by the geological processes at work in the area. As the Rift Valley continues to widen and become more pronounced, these species may find themselves isolated in increasingly fragmented habitats. This could lead to localized extinctions and a loss of biodiversity, as species struggle to adapt to the changing landscape. The loss of these species could have far-reaching consequences for the health of the region's ecosystems, as many of these animals play important roles in maintaining ecological balance. The formation of the new ocean will also have a significant impact on the region's climate. The ocean's climate and temperature will influence the weather patterns, potentially leading to changes in rainfall patterns and temperature regimes. These changes could have significant consequences for the region's ecosystems, as many species are adapted to specific temperature and precipitation ranges. The impact of these changes will not be limited to the region's wildlife. Many people in the region depend on ecosystems for their livelihoods through activities like agriculture, fishing, and tourism. Changes in the health of the ecosystems could lead to declines in these industries, potentially leading to economic hardships for many people. Overall, the splitting of the African continent and the formation of a new ocean are significant geological events that will have lasting impact on the region's biodiversity and ecosystems. While the full extent of these impacts is not yet clear, it is clear that they will be significant and will require careful management and monitoring to minimize any negative consequences. The geological events that are reshaping the African landscape are not only impacting the region's ecosystems and wildlife, but also the people who call the region home. Earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and other geological hazards have already disrupted the lives of millions, and the changing landscape poses a threat to traditional ways of life. As the Rift Valley widens and the new ocean continues to form, communities will need to adapt to the changing environment. This will require significant investment in infrastructure and resources that are capable of withstanding the geological forces at play. For example, buildings and roads will need to be constructed to withstand earthquakes and other hazards, while water and sanitation systems will need to be adapted to changing water sources. In addition to adapting infrastructure and resources, communities will also need to develop new agricultural practices to cope with the changing landscape. The formation of the new ocean will likely alter rainfall patterns, meaning that farmers will need to adjust their planting schedules and crop choices accordingly. Finally, the people of the region will need to find ways to preserve traditional ways of life while adapting to the changing landscape. This may involve finding new ways to use traditional resources or developing new economic opportunities that are compatible with the changing environment. Overall, the human element of the African continent splitting and the birth of a new ocean is significant. Communities will need to adapt to the changing environment in order to ensure their continued survival and well-being. While the challenges are significant, there is also an opportunity for communities to develop new and innovative solutions that can improve their resilience in the face of change. The splitting of the African continent and the formation of a new ocean are a stark reminder that even the most beautiful places on Earth can hold secrets and dangers beneath the surface. As the East African Rift continues to widen, it will reshape the geography, ecosystems, and human communities of the region, presenting both challenges and opportunities. In the face of this geological upheaval, the resilience and adaptability of the people in the region will be put to the test. It is a story of destruction, chaos, and the birth of something new, serving as a powerful reminder of the dynamic and ever-changing nature of our planet.